You're listening to Analog Assault, a video game podcast by Mulehorn Gaming.
Welcome to the Analog Assault Podcast, your destination for video game talk, movies, and large explosions. I'm Wade, also known as Mulehorn117. We're on episode 33, and tonight I have with me my bros, Alex, a.k.a. Circuit 8.
33,
and Kurt, also known as Dirty Bombs.
I don't know what to do in lieu of that. That caught me off guard.
hard to follow that up, isn't it?
It's true.
And we also have our bro, Thaddeus Prime. What time is it?
It's prime time!
It's prime time. So, fellas, it's been like forever, right? It feels like it's been a while, you know, with all the stuff we've been doing lately. So
All the stuffs.
yeah. So, fellas, you can find us live every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Mixer.com/Mulehorn Gaming. And speaking of Mixer, check out our friends at theshedteam.com. And I have to say, if you see this cool little thing we got here, done by our very man Bizzo. Yes, that is. Sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, I was pointing to the icon.
Oh, you're pointing to the icon? Yeah.
Visual cues.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't a. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Hey,
Do you happen to have any great poupon?
I have something to declare.
All heard is poop. What?
Yeah, so go check out the Shed Team. Bizzo made this new scene for us, which is amazing. Dude's super talented. He's a partnered streamer. Go check him out as well. Gotta give him a shout out because he's awesome,
He makes
dude.
stuff all day long.
He does, man. Like,
Lots of good stuff.
I don't know how he has time to do what all he does unless he just doesn't sleep.
He's a
Time
wizard.
travel.
Yeah.
He's a wizard.
Harry.
He's a
Something
wizard.
good in that picture.
Bizzo the wizard.
Yeah. So, fellas, what have you been doing this week? What you been playing? What's been going on?
Oh man, it's been Destiny, and I feel terrible.
What? Do you feel dirty?
Yeah, I feel dirtier.
How does it feel?
Bombs.
Yeah. Tell me
Yeah.
more.
Like I'm actually playing 3 characters again.
What?
Yeah.
Full blown. I feel like in a week or two I'm gonna start looking for raid groups. It's bad.
You never go
Oh,
full turbo. Never go full
man.
turbo.
you got the bug, sir. You got
Yeah.
the bug.
Yeah, wanted to shoot some stuff again.
Yeah. Anything else exciting going on in your life?
Pokemon, man. We had some pretty cool announcements for Pokemon lately.
Yes. Tell the non-Pokemon people who are on the podcast what's this all about.
Well, we know that the next proper installment for Pokemon is going to be on the Switch next year, but this year we're getting a kind of sort of reintroduction to the Pokemon Yellow, like Red, Blue, Yellow generation, which was the first series of games that came out.
Yeah.
And they're on the Switch, so you're going to get Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Nice.
In both games, you can't evolve either of them some bitches, which is terrible. Just like
Why would you
Pokemon
keep
Yellow.
Eevee as an Eevee? Who the hell does that?
It only exists to be evolved.
Exactly.
You get an Eevee, you get a rock. Evolve that. Come on. Yeah.
You're speaking a foreign language to me. I don't know. I never Pokemon. I never
Yeah.
Pokemon.
You see, my favorite Pokemon is right behind me, and in Pokemon Yellow, you could not evolve Pikachu into Raichu,
Oh.
which was weak sauce. No, I don't want to evolve. I don't want to be strong.
So it's been a hot minute since I played Yellow, but I don't recall. Do you have the ability to catch other Pikachus?
You can get another Pikachu, but you can't
Just
evolve
that.
the one that you start the game with.
Well, that's apparently too much coding to have a Raichu follow you around instead of a Pikachu.
Too
There was a
much.
whole thing in the TV show though too, like Ash and
No, I know. Yeah.
Ash was gonna evolve Pikachu to Raichu, but then he was like, "No, I shouldn't make you change. You should be able to rise above the challenge." And he like kicked a Raichu's ass. So it was a whole, yeah.
Interesting.
I was in
Oh,
grade school,
that's
guys.
it.
Give me a break.
Yeah. So what about you, Dirty? What you been playing, man?
The same thing.
Really?
At the same time.
The D2. Not at the same time, because I never see Circuit
Two
Online.
Ds at the same
Punk.
time.
Ooh.
Double penetration?
Whoa.
I went to the line, you jumped right.
I towed it. I went across just a little bit. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I hit 357 on my Warlock. Playing a little bit, trying to get my clan XP and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I thankfully managed to get that horrific sunshot off of my Warlock, and got my Graviton Lance back up to 360.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
I will tell you the least enjoyable thing about Destiny 2, besides like the obvious stuff that's not enjoyable, is the fact that you can't infuse things outside of the class of the
Yeah.
item. That's just the worst.
Yeah.
And
And here-
I can't tell
57
you how many
Scarecrow.
sidearms I have that are high-level sidearms that I'm never gonna touch, and I can't infuse them into like a good sidearm because I don't want any of them.
I don't use a whole lot of sidearms, honestly. Like if you have the Graviton, use the Graviton.
Everyone uses the Graviton.
It's so good though.
Yeah. It's like the meta, man. Everyone
It
uses it.
is. It's just super freaking good.
I'm loving Crimson though. Crimson and the quest,
Yeah.
Scout Rifle, it's doing me good.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna air a little bit of grievances with the D2 latest expansion.
Oh, really?
And realistically, it really just boils down to one thing,
Yeah.
and I just dislike the fact that escalation protocols are in the format of public events. I dislike that thoroughly. To fully complete them, you need a freaking raid team, because not everyone's at 370 or 380, whatever the new cap is.
Yeah, patrol
And
is not.
you
the
have
place for
to no, you can only go in with a strike team, and then hope to God that you get enough other blueberries that stick around for the whole thing.
Which
I
happened
I
part
don't
four
like
last
that.
night with me and Underdog. Holy crap, it was amazing. We made it to level 7,
Dang.
got to the main boss, and we're like, we're not ready for this. Let's just go for it. Leroy
We're not
Jenkins!
worthy.
We took like maybe a tenth of his health off, but
Yeah.
it was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I just wish they actually had a matchmaking system for it, especially
Yeah.
with how much they push you into it. Not as much as they they
Right.
could, but they still force you to do it.
There's ways to do
Especially
it,
with the Nascent Dawn quest.
which happened today before I got on the podcast. I got some randos messaging me, and we're gonna set up, invite his friends over, have 3 full teams
Yeah.
there.
Right.
It's a little bit of work and chance of people actually playing along with you. But I agree,
what that was?
it would go a lot better if they had some kind of matchmaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
I saw you online. I saw you in a party with like 8 people. I'm like, what the hell
Yeah.
is this
It's
about?
going down,
Making it
huh?
work. I was cooking dinner at the same time. I was like, oh, sweet, huge team. Okay, I gotta go, guys.
You mean you just push the
Right.
microwave? It's what you have to do in those
kidding.
situations. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
got
but
bacon, pork chops, and broccoli and
Oh,
potatoes.
dang, dude.
No microwave.
How did you do both of those? That's amazing.
he's T Prime.
That's my name.
Multitasking in the kitchen is his game.
I can't talk and
Pork
drink at the
chops
same
in the
time.
microwave?
Apparently.
What the hell?
Yeah.
But
Moving
I
on.
decided to start my Titan before I hopped onto this too, because
Yeah.
I didn't touch him since he hit 300, so he's got a ways to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So Thaddeus, I don't even know if I need to ask, man. But have you been playing anything? I mean, you know what we've been doing. So
Oh, I know what we've been doing. But when I could play, which was yesterday, and prior to this weekend was Destiny. I still have half of God of War to do.
yeah.
Yeah, I keep thinking about it, but I don't do it because I got the D2 bug.
Yeah, get back on that, man. It's good. I know how it is though. Sometimes you just need to go shoot stuff, you know.
Yeah, and then you can't stop shooting stuff. And like, oh, I almost have this next flat level.
Yeah.
Oh, this amazing gun. Oh, there's part of the quest. I have a few minutes. I have 30 minutes. I have an hour. I don't need that much sleep. Oh crap! I need to go to bed.
Right.
The problem with Destiny, man.
Yep.
You feel that grind. You want to keep up with the Joneses.
Yep.
You're like, God of War will be there. It's not
Yeah.
going anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys got any more of that D2?
Ain't got any more of that.
Is that what
Yeah.
I can do?
Man, I think about the only gaming I got in was just a little bit this week. I mean, I did at one point when I was staying over at Thaddeus's for Comicpalooza. I can't sleep past like 6:30 anymore or 7, and I got up and I just started playing Thaddeus's Overwatch on his Xbox.
You're about to get ranked.
Gotta-
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get you in some ranked here. So But yeah, man. I mean, we'll talk about most of our stuff here in a second. But I haven't really got to game that much this past week. I feel like I'm living in a dream right now. I'm still on cloud 9 from Comicpalooza, dude. Because it was. We'll tell you guys in stream and listen to the podcast in just a second. But it got real. It got. Oh man, yeah. So let's just jump into it. We're going to be talking Comicpalooza tonight, and we're also going to be covering some Anthem. Before I get into that, though, I just want to say if you like our podcast, you like our website, check out the cool cats and the content we have at patreon.com/Mulehorn Gaming to learn how to be a supporter of all what we do with our website, all the stuff there. It really helps us out a lot, guys. So, T Prime, let's go ahead and get into this and start talking about Comicpalooza, man. And let's just go from the top, which I guess to back up a little bit, because Dirty and Circuit, we hadn't really got to talk about this with you guys either. But got an email, and one of the guys at Comicpalooza was like, "Hey, Mule, we listened to your podcast, like it, blah, blah, blah. How do you feel about hosting the Overwatch panel?" And I was like, yeah, I'll host the Overwatch panel. And, of course, I had T Prime there to give me some support because the room is a huge room. It's like it can fill up to 1,500 people, I think is what one of the people said. But we got to host the Overwatch panel, and T Prime and myself got to meet, as you can see on the screen, the four voice actors here, which was Anjali, who plays Symmetra. She's the one right next to me. Then beside her is Sombra, which her name is Carolina. And then you have Fyodor, who's Zenyatta. And then you have Lucio at the end. We didn't know if he's going to make it or not, but he made it. And so that's Johnny Cruz there.
Unreal.
Dude, he was absolutely hilarious, man. Like
He's a one-man show.
Yeah, the dude was super cool, super nice. How much did you get to talk to him, Thaddeus?
Not as much as you. I talked to the two chicas more than you.
Okay,
More than most of them.
Of course you did. You talked.
Yeah, of course you did.
He's getting a little prime time on there, but you can see I'm just rolling through some pictures here for you guys to see. That right there is Sombra and Zenyatta. And then we had a really cool thing happen. Do you want to tell everyone?
Hold on. I gotta say, this is your first panel. It's definitely primed you for the next one. But these four took over the show because they are like a well-drilled family. I mean, they took the show and it was freaking amazing. I mean, Mule, you didn't have to do much past the first 5-10 minutes. Keep things flowing, but they rocked it. It was hilarious, feeding off each other, sharing stories, calling each other out, jabbing each other, and it was awesome. It was really awesome.
Yeah. And then, as you can see in this picture here, our bro that was also with our podcast panel, Sully, who is with the Nerd Foo, and he's also the marketing director, I think, or head marketing guy at Funko. He does the Funko Funcast as well. And we went into this place called Coral Sword, and it's so stinking awesome, man. It's they have that setup, as you can see there, that it was awesome. They were doing like a 24-hour podcast, and Ming was there. And if you don't know who Ming is, he's one of the guys from AMC's Comic Book Men. Mm-hmm. And he saw Sully, and he was like, "Hey, we got a Funko employee over here. All you guys, come up here on the podcast." And I look at Thaddeus and I go, "We're going up there too, right? I guess."
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. And then of course, Thaddeus and I got up there, and T Prime, you got to talk to him more than I did because I went and ate pizza.
Yeah, you couldn't hold out, man. I was like, I'm gonna power through this.
Yeah.
And Ming is one cool cat. He just laid back, chill. Wants to get your input, wants to ask a question, wants to get to know you. And like Chris is telling me, and once he meets you, he's never going to forget you. He might not forget your name, but he will definitely recognize you and remember something about you and mention it next time he sees you. And that's just too stinking cool. So, he basically obviously quizzed Chris, Sully a lot more. But we had some nice conversations going on.
He loves Funko, so it was like everything. Tell me about Funko,
We had some Shed peeps drop in there as well. I sent a little tweet out there, or a little Discord drop in there. Had some people show up, and man, it was times I didn't have words, like I'm sitting next to Ming Chen.
Yeah.
To Ming Chen.
Yeah.
This is happening.
Like, what?
It's awesome.
But you have to
Yeah.
have words. You're on a podcast. We
Yeah,
need
it's
to hear
like
from you.
must talk, must have words.
Have
Myself,
words.
breathe.
Yeah. And then I got to say, man, probably the coolest part was when it was a day before Comicpalooza, and I get a Facebook message from one of the employees there, and they go, "Hey, I hear you're a big Star Wars fan." And I was like, "Yeah, yes, I am."
Nerd.
And they're like, "Are you excited to see anybody there?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And I was going off, and they're like, "How would you like to host and moderate the Q&A for Ray Park, aka Darth Maul?" And I was like, "What? What? Ray Park, dude?" So me and T Prime got to spend an hour with the Sith Lord himself, Ray Park, man. And I mean,
I
dude,
guess it was the top half, not the bottom half.
yeah. So it was, dude. I mean, Thaddeus, how did you feel, man?
At first I was like, we're about to meet him. I was like, this is amazing. But then when I met him, he like brings an atmosphere of like super chill, super laid back. I'm a regular dude.
Yeah,
And it was like easy, like conversation, talking it up, shaking the guy's hand, and then watching him though, feeling his energy of him loving to share
Felt
stories.
his energy.
Yeah,
Dude.
I mean, the guy's.
I mean, he's a
energetic.
kung fu
and
master.
Wushu.
Yeah.
Is it wushu?
Wushu and kung fu. Yeah,
Okay, so he's actually trained in martial
Dude.
arts.
he's
did
hardcore.
all his own
And,
shit.
yeah, from a teenager on, he was doing it like he was doing his stunt stuff like in his late teens.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So we got to sit down and chat with him. And the cool thing, the thing that was exciting for me about all this is I asked every single one of those guys, of course, I was like, "Hey, we got a podcast. Would you want to come?" And they were all like, "Yeah, we totally come on the podcast." So we were like,
Swing.
yes, especially Ray Park, man, because I'm such a huge fan of Star Wars. So, and then,
Did you talk to him about, was it Clone Wars or Rebels? Whichever one that.
he was actually a consumer of Star Wars. He had seen a lot of it.
Okay.
And
How did he feel about the way that Maul died?
I didn't get to ask him that. I jumped in with questions here and there.
See, we have to get him on the cast because I want to know what he
This is
thinks about
true.
old spider legs living out in the desert.
Dude,
That's
I
the
know.
whole after getting cut in half life of Darth Maul. What does
Yeah.
Darth Maul think of that?
Yeah, dude. But the really cool, funny story. I have to tell this story.
Worst
So,
case being cut in half I've ever seen.
Hey. I don't think spider legs.
so we're sitting in the Q&A, right? And we're opening it up, and I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead and ask your question." This guy comes up and goes, "Hey, so props? Did you get to take any props home? What props did you want to take home?" And so he's telling the story, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's a very energetic kind of Scottish guy," and he's like, "Yeah, Mike, I was telling him, everyone was saying take the lightsabers home," and I was like, "No, man, because they're like, Obi-Wan's was like this because it was bent, and mine was like this and like this because it was bent." I was like, "No, I don't want those, man. Give me the contacts." And everybody's like, "Why the contacts?" And he's like, "Because when you're driving home and you have road rage, you just go like this." And he looked at
That was awesome.
Oh, man,
No
and
one
look
saw
at
that
him.
coming.
Yeah.
No one saw that coming.
yeah. So I was like, "Oh, that's great, man." But super cool guy, great guy. I mean, especially the way he treated his fans. And you guys
Absolutely.
listening and watching, if you don't know, when you go to those places, sometimes you have to pay to get an autograph or a picture. And he took a huge group picture at the end. He had a kid that drew him a picture that he came up and had his dad take pictures with him. Said, "Come by tomorrow. I'll sign an autograph for you." Like, super cool dude. I mean, don't have better things to say than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, enough of us. Let's actually talk about some interesting news with Anthem, man.
I will say,
Anthem? What's
Wait.
that?
Video games?
What'd you
before
say?
we get into that, I did get to meet some local artists.
Oh.
Well, not local, but I get to meet the artists behind the original Venom.
Yeah.
I got some signed artwork from him, autographed, big giant print. Can't really see very well. That was stinking amazing. Super cool guy.
Nice.
And my highlight, which Wade can attest that I was geeking out hardcore, was
Dude.
Juan Carlos Ramos, the G1 artist for Hasbro, and got a giant autograph print from him.
And that's
print,
legit, man.
A comic, and he is going to make an avatar for me as well, a bearded Prime. He agreed to that.
That's amazing.
Yep, and he's also most likely maybe making an appearance on the Analog Assault podcast in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's looking nice.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
I can confirm the whole time as Thaddeus was looking through all of his portfolio, he was like, dude, I want that. Dude, I want that. Dude, I want that. And I knew your birthday's coming up this weekend. And I was like, all right. I was like, tomorrow, this weekend, Friday. Yeah. So I was like, bro, which one do you want? I'll buy it for you. So, yeah. And the guy was super nice, like very kind, signing them and things like that. So, yeah, but hopefully you guys can come with us next year because that was, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Off the freaking hook.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, as Jumbaloo says in chat, dude, it was. Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk a little Anthem here because we actually have something to talk about now. We got something to talk about.
Do we?
So we have a release date now, as we broke, and it broke our website when we broke the news. Anthem release date confirmed on an earnings call, which will be March 2019. So, you guys ready for this? What are your thoughts so far on what we've seen on the release date and everything that we've had leading up to this information?
Release dates are fluid.
Yep.
In these days.
Yeah.
It's already been pushed back once.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll keep, a pair of fingers crossed for March 2019.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
I'm giving into the hype a little bit because I've been jonesing for this game for a while. I mean, the whole EA debacle is. I think they kind of smooth things over with what we should anticipate with this game to some degree. And with this, it's kind of like with Cyberpunk. It's their boop. It was them putting their tweet out there saying decoding like, oh, something's happening. So I'm excited to find out more information. 1, 2, stoked for March because I want another game that's going to be encompassing somewhat Destiny is, but a lot of what Destiny isn't, and a whole new shiny bag. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks to me like Destiny and Mass Effect
had a baby.
Mm-hmm. And Titanfall may have been the illegitimate father.
It's a brother's cousin, uncle.
I don't need this game to be Titanfall because I heard Titanfall 3 is going to happen.
I'm still not super jazzed about that.
Why would you not
get jazzed?
Because
awesome.
It's Titanfall 3. Sure, Titanfall 2 was a massive improvement over the first one, but I didn't buy into the whole campaign. It was just
it's
it
good,
was a
man.
great campaign.
It was an only okay campaign.
Titanfall 1 didn't have a campaign, so
No, it didn't.
It was impossible for it to not be an improvement, I think.
But it wasn't like I don't consider Titanfall 2's campaign to be great.
You're like the only person I've ever heard
only
say that,
okay.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so cut and dry and so just like, oh, I've seen this like 16 times a day.
Well, it was not Steven Spielberg. It was pretty good for a game, an action game.
It was not Mass
it gave me a
Effect because
reason
it's
to
not a
shoot
campaign.
stuff.
Just saying,
It was pretty good. It was pretty
It was
good.
only an okay campaign, man.
I'm looking forward to a Titanfall 3.
Dude,
I'm looking forward to a better campaign and more. What was it called? Horde mode. Help me out, Circuit.
Oh.
are you talking about the PvE content?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called now.
Multiplayer.
Yeah.
But more of that.
Yeah. That was fun when you do the mech versus the waves of enemies or whatever. Yeah.
Well, if they stick to the same pattern of improving on the first one, which they actually did do, there's a good chance we'll see a better, longer campaign and more fun multiplayer modes.
If Titanfall came out and it wasn't just a cut and dry sort of point A to B to C campaign, if it was a more open worldy, not open world, but open-ish.
How about a battle royale?
How about no?
How about no?
You say that and I'm going to just faint.
If Titanfall came out and there was some sort of grindy, engaging PvE content, kind of like Destiny or what we see in Anthem, I think that would be sweet.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Because that would make Titanfall like, okay, it's here to stay. It's not like you have to really just be in love with the game. It has other appeal to it.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of those new things that may be appealing
Yeah.
to everybody. And
Anthem.
that would be there is a new image that BioWare dropped on their Facebook page.
I like images.
And our bro here, Circuit 8, found a really good image of it that's kind of blown up. We'll put it in chat for you guys. But it looks like there's a lot of new javelins here. So what do you think, guys? Do you have any speculation on some of this stuff?
Well, we definitely have more than the 3 javelin classes or javelin models we saw. So I assume there's going to be some diversity or some amazing customization,
Yeah,
I would hope so.
or both.
yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say one of them looks very much like kind of like an assassin class, like the one that has kind of that green and white look to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like an assassin class. Then you have like the basic ranger at the top there.
Yeah.
And
Heavy.
yeah, and then
some
like a tank
Space wizard.
and some kind of wizard. Yeah, like a caster as is Scarecrow is saying in chat. So, but yeah,
I'm all
man,
about that heavy, man.
yeah, it
Give me
looks
that heavy, I'll be happy.
it looks pretty interesting, man. And I'm hoping we get to see some of these things in action and actually see what they can do. I mean, what are you hoping you see from these classes? Are you wanting some customization or anything like that?
All of that, honestly.
Yes.
I mean, I'm hoping to see a lot of this become more fleshed out come a few weeks at E3, where they show us more gameplay. They show us a little bit more of the potential loot system other than the Jara's Wrath drop one that we've seen. Maybe a little bit more of the map as to how open world it's gonna be. You know, what some of and definitely the customization on these suits. Oh my goodness. Like,
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
wait
I'm-
to see how open and extensive the open world or however it plays out is, because it looks like a lot of crap went down outside the wall, and I want to find out what that is.
Yeah, and if you look at that high res picture that we put in chat, it looks like there's some stuff there in the background, kind of bottom right, that looks very similar to kind of that town we see in the first trailer from back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And then obviously we got other such potential locales. I don't really want to say they're going to be definitely be things, but clearly they're hinting at something since they put it in a picture on their Facebook page. So hopefully it'll be large and substantial areas that try and rival the smaller areas in Destiny 2, you know, like Titan and Mercury,
Would you feel it'd be great if it had something like Horizon Zero Dawn?
in terms of the open world.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with it.
I agree too. That's kind of what's coming to mind.
I think for that, I prefer not so much fast travel around the map, because I know obviously in Horizon Zero Dawn you can fast travel between the campfires and whatnot. But I think to really immerse the player in at least that kind of size of an open world map, they'd have to just kind of let you get to where you're going, and however long it takes you to get there is how long it takes you.
Yeah, I'm hoping that as you kind of look at this picture a little bit closer, you can kind of see like to like the middle left. It looks like some kind of planet or ship or something back there, or massive structure. So I'm wondering if maybe that's like an area where you'll have some type of raid or something like that.
Oh, that's the Metal Devil, duh.
The Metal Devil. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
about
from
that.
Horizon, but
Oh, okay.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, man. So I'm hoping it's something like that, where I'm hoping this game takes all the good things it does from like Mass Effect, you know, from Destiny, from all the other games that are semi like this, and kind of puts it to use. Now the thing that, and we'll kind of get into this now, is that kind of some of the things I'm worried about that I've talked about before on our bro Lupo to the rescue. He does Enter the Javelin web show every Monday. Go check it out. But we were talking about this when I was on his show about how I'm a little worried about if this is a multiplayer game, like how is it going to look with their servers? Because, you know, you're looking
That is
at
gonna be key.
Titanfall, the way those servers are done, or not Titanfall, Mass Effect 3. You look at Star Wars Battlefront 2. You look at Mass Effect Andromeda. And their connections and the way that they're set up for their lobbies is just kind of clunky. I mean, it's just not the most optimized way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
They'll have to definitely address that. If they want multiplayer to be successful from launch, they're going to have to make sure their servers are working smooth as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if they want any longevity in this game, they're going to have to make it to where it's kind of a game as a service. Now, does that mean we're going to see micros? I mean, what do you guys think?
I think it's got the potential for micros.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can have micros to some degree, but it's not going to be something that's going to blow the community up. I think they've hopefully learned their lesson. Okay, we can't do that because it's going to backlash whatever game we put out.
Yeah. So as Jumbaloo says in chat, it's EA. They'll back off a little bit, but they won't remove them entirely. Maybe, man. I mean, we saw on their next game that they have coming out, that there's not going to be any micros. So, and that's Battlefield. So, I don't know.
That's Battlefield, which is a cut and dry linear adventure multiplayer shooter versus something like Anthem that's potentially the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, but you'd think in a multiplayer, it'd be even more reason to have micros. You know, you look at Call of Duty, you look at all the others that have the micros where you have to pay for extra maps, you have to pay for packs.
Maybe they'd rather just immediately say, hey, we're not doing this on our next game, but the game after that, watch out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it works, man. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how developers now can make games without having some type of micros or DLC cost, because the overhead for making a game nowadays is just so freaking high.
It ain't cheap.
No, it ain't cheap, man. It ain't cheap. But exactly, Scarecrow, like some mech skins or something like that, man. Like that would.
You say Mexicans?
Mech skins.
Just checking.
Jerk. Yeah. So, something like that, man. I think.
Is there a Mexican Because I totally buy that now.
Yeah, yeah. So, kind of moving into our next thing here, as we're trying to get Circuit back. We lost him, but we're trying to get him back here, guys.
Circuit, come back.
Come back.
You can
Baby, come back
on your IP.
Yeah. So, Casey Hudson had a blog post that came out at kind of the middle of May, and he had a lot to say in this. So, I want to get you guys' take on what you guys think about some of the words and the verbiage he uses in this blog post. So, open it up to you guys. What do you think? First of all this stuff.
Sorry.
Did you not read it, Dirty?
No, I
you
did
had
not
one
read it.
job.
Dude, you didn't even email this to me. I had to freaking find it in a Discord
It's in the
chat.
podcast notes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I guess I'll start it off since some
plan.
guys
Thanks,
are
buddy.
not prepared for the podcast here. So he talked about a lot, and they have this kind of in bold, and he said, we create worlds of adventure, conflict, and companionship that inspire you to become the hero of your story. So he made a very strong emphasis on creating worlds. So what do you think all this will mean? What do you think it means when he says they make a strong emphasis on creating worlds?
Strong emphasis on creating worlds. I mean, that seems pretty self-explanatory.
Well, I mean, explain that to me then. Explain your thoughts.
Creating a strong. You can't really have a crappy world. I mean, let's make planet Jabroni over here, right? Yes, I'm using the term Jabroni. It's happening. Now, planet Jabroni could be home to the Jabrones, right? And no one knows what the Jabrones are about. That's a crappy world. You're just thrown on this world, and you don't know what's going on, why these people are here, what they're doing, why they're Jabroning out like they are. Now, if you actually create a backstory for these people, for the planet, for whatever turmoil they're going through, or backstory for whatever prosperous age they may be in, that's a better world. Because you have more depth, you have more reason to give a shit as to what's going on.
Yeah.
If they tag that on with he says created worlds, plural. So I think there's going to be multiple areas that we can visit. And to dig into some more of the wordage there, I think it's gonna be vibrant. It's gonna have backstories, NPCs, and whatnot. So I think they're looking to really take the open world feel, slap a story into it somehow to play with how the world unfolds and whatnot. So kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of Red Dead Redemption. That open world was, each area had a specific reason why it was there, specific things that went on. NPCs had a backstory, and you played some role in it to some degree. That's kind of what I hope here, but
Yeah.
in a very shooter, sci-fi-ish, sort of apocalyptic human race trying to survive kind of way.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I'm curious about how they're going to do it is when he says creating worlds, adventure, conflict, and companionship. I mean, BioWare games, when you play them, are known for their companions, right? I mean, you have all these amazing people that tag along with you in your story. So if it's also a multiplayer game, how are they going to work that? Is it just going to be solely single player and then you can go into a multiplayer universe, or is it going to be something similar to what we see in Destiny where like you have these NPCs that you meet along the way that just kind of help you out in areas? I mean, what do you guys think? Thinking.
I don't know.
Thinking.
Thinking.
Buffering.
I don't have really enough to go off of, but
Yeah. I'm thinking it's probably something similar to like okay, Destiny 2. You're going to the tower and it's like all blown up, right? And you meet Zavala while you're there. And he helps you out along the way, and then he sends you on your way to keep going, and you meet other NPCs along the way. I think they're probably going to have to do it something similar to that. But my curiosity is, how do they do that with BioWare? Because BioWare has always been about, like, you play a game like Mass Effect, you go do a mission, but then you spend 20 minutes talking to everybody on your ship, building relationships, building out the story. And so how are they going to do that?
we don't have enough to go off of.
Yeah.
But I hope it's a mix between that and if you ever played Fallout, there's less dialogue, but more. Every NPC has something to say and some kind of interaction that you can get involved with. It's not repetitive like Destiny, where you stand next to Anna Bray, she'll say the same 5 lines within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
In a few minutes, it gets kind of like, seriously? Say something else.
Yeah.
But, if it's a creative world, I hope to see something more dialogue driven. Maybe not so much you have choices in, but NPCs have a lot to say.
Yeah.
And you can pick up on their cues, or you can interact with them, or something you say to them changes things.
Yeah.
Typical BioWare fashion.
Yeah. It's going to be, I mean, they mentioned how, they talked about with your friend, you can play a story experience with your friends. So obviously they're leaning upon the games like Dragon Age and Mass Effect and Neverwinter Nights even. And I'm just wondering how they're going to do that if it's a story we can experience with our friends. I mean, as Jumbaloo's saying in chat, maybe helpers like in Skyrim or Diablo, where you jump in, or like even like Halo. If you're playing, you jump in, and if you have another Spartan there with you that plays Locke or whoever it would be.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you never played much Borderlands, did you?
No, I actually never did play Borderlands.
I had that co-op experience down pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
And also, the Division did a pretty good job of that too. So,
Yeah.
something else to think about. You could jump in and join someone else's session as well, and interact with that environment easily as well.
Yeah. So with EA Play around the corner, and also we have E3 coming up, what are some things you're hoping you guys can see from the EA Play and from E3? What are some things you're wanting to see from Anthem?
Non-scripted gameplay,
Yes.
because that last one was
That was
pretty
dumb.
scripted. And I mean, a lot of memes and a lot of jokes came from that.
Yeah.
I want to see how this open world not just works through a cinematic trailer, but how you interact with NPCs, how you interact in the world, and actually going out there and I don't know. I want to see multiple parts of the world out there. Not
Yeah.
just one path on one half of a mission. Lots of guns. I want to see lots of guns.
Not just explosions. Yeah.
Or suits at the
Different.
very least.
Yeah, more suits, more enemy types. Find out if we get to leave the planet or not, or if we're stuck there. There's multiple regions. I keep thinking of Horizon Zero Dawn when I see this game and think about its world, but I want a little bit of backstory, a lot more action, non-scripted gameplay,
Yeah. Definitely have to agree with you guys.
and
Like-
how co-op works.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to see some new mechs or javelins, I guess as they call them. I want to see some new javelins. I want to see some free play, not something scripted. I want to see how their lobby system works. And I also kind of want a cool trailer. I want know a little bit more about what Anthem is and the story behind it. So
A substantial trailer, not this 50-second baloney we keep getting.
yeah. I want to see it all. All right, guys. Well, let's move into the next segment, which is my favorite, which is Shots Fired, where we ask you guys on Twitter, Discord, Facebook, wherever you can find Mulehorn Gaming, to send us your thoughts, opinions, comments, questions. What's your favorite milkshake? Whatever it would be. Send it to us with hashtag AskAnalog.
Milkshake, random.
Milkshake, man. Do you like vanilla
Does
or
it
chocolate?
bring all the mules to the yard?
It does.
Chocolate malt all day.
It does. So our first one here is a little joke here from our bro, Crackseed, and he says, "Dear Mulehorn 117, what color jet exhaust do you want to see, and why is it purple?" And for you guys that don't know, his avatar is purple, so maybe you like purple, man, and they knew it, and so they put it in there for you, man. Who
There you
knows?
go.
Who knows? All right, so another question here. And we got a couple from our bro, Johnny Cage85. And this is a really, really good one. He said, and it's a picture he sent of us, and it's 3 characters. And he says, which one of these 3 would you have drinks and then go on an adventure with? And you have Deckard, who's from Blade Runner. Then you have Han, Star Wars. And then you have Indiana from Indiana Jones. So which one of those guys would you have a drink with and then go on an adventure with?
Circuit? Oh. Okay.
Oh.
We'll give him Rick Deckard because he's not here, so he can have that one.
There you go. I would definitely have to say Han Solo because Millennium Falcon, space.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
Star Wars.
Well, in Star Wars.
It's
but
true.
He might not. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
I've been thinking about this all day, and I can't think of one. Truthfully, Indiana is basically the Earth equivalent of Han Solo.
True.
He's just probably a little bit more educated, potentially. But I don't know. I think it would have to come down to the perils that would face me. Do I rather get shot out of an air cannon or an airlock and suffocate in space, or be eaten by a cannibal?
Space.
The
What
choices, man. The choices.
Choices.
Yeah.
Which way is the less sucky way to die?
Yeah.
But,
if you think being my cannibal is a better way to die,
not
you
so
can
much.
do
I mean,
Indiana Jones all day long.
I could already be dead or,
True.
something. I don't know. Either way.
Or you can pull a Princess Leia and wheel yourself back into the cockpit.
Ain't that the truth? Stupid fucking movie. Anyway, I think I probably have to go with Han, regardless, just because Star Wars. Space,
Yeah.
Siths. Empire.
I mean, the Deckard's world in Blade Runner was cool for the tech and whatnot, but it was basically a desolate area. And,
Yeah.
well, the
See,
second one it was. So, I mean...
I never saw Blade Runner, the old one or the new one, so I
What?
can't really.
My God.
So I can't really say I'd want to go hang out with
You
him.
need to watch it.
You need to watch
Yeah,
them.
okay.
Don't
Really
tell
good
Gravy
films.
Kingpin this, though. He will...
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I've already told him.
No.
Yeah. For me, guys, it comes down to the universe they're in because I love all 3 of these characters. So, of course, I'm either going to lean really heavily toward Han Solo. The close second is probably Indiana because his movies are just they're still so good, I could just sit down and watch them on a weekend, except for we're not going to talk about the last one, Crystal Skull. So we're not going to.
That's just
Redacted.
There you go, Jubilee.
it's an embarrassment. No one's going to talk about it.
Yeah. So moving on. So I think we're all kind of Han Solo-ish here, right? So moving on. Johnny says, We are expecting a lot out of Xbox at E3 in a few weeks, but what happens if they don't deliver? What does that look like for them and gamers if they don't show big news, the Halo 6 and Gears 5? What if they just show more Game Pass, backwards compatibility games, and indies with a few third-party throw-in? Hashtag AskAnalog.
They'll be shooting themselves in the foot, both feet, if they go that route. I mean, they have to seriously deliver. They've been hinting that they will be delivering, but worst case scenario, they don't. I don't see the future of Xbox being as bright as it seems to be.
Yeah.
I would have to concur with that. They can only really get so many thumbs up or attaboys or pats on the back for bringing whatever else they got to backwards compatibility. It's not a gimmick that's going to keep people interested. So without third-party games to keep people consistently interested, they don't really have a whole lot to go on.
Yeah. You know, man, I mean, we've already heard the rumors about Crackdown being delayed again. And it's just not looking good, man. And PlayStation's been killing it with their first, with their games like God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, like Spider-Man's coming up. Like, their games are just so good, and I have a lot of faith in Xbox, but right now, Nate said Detroit, like, they're kind of in a bad position, man. Like, all they have right now is hardware. And yeah, the X is amazing, but I need games to play it. I'm not going to buy it if I don't have games to play it, There's no reason for me to go out and buy an X when I got a PC or a PS4, So
That's true.
So I don't know, Johnny. I mean, I'm hearing rumors about certain games that are coming, but nothing solid and nothing that's console exclusive. So yeah, so we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. So, all right. So our next Ask Analog is from Solid Scorpions on Twitter. And he says, what game that hasn't been confirmed yet for E3 are you looking for this year? Hashtag Ask Analog.
Scalebound.
Yeah, right, man. That thing is dead as dead.
There was a rumor that something to do with Scalebound was coming back up, but I heard nothing else about it. So
yeah,
it was a dead rumor.
It's
teasing us.
Dead. Yeah, I think it was like a glitch or something on Xbox Live, or it became available to pre-order or something like that. Yeah.
Is Fable confirmed?
I don't know if it's confirmed.
I don't know.
That'd be a good one.
Because I'd say either Fable or Borderlands.
Yes. BL3 would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, as a fourth.
They confirmed they weren't going to be there, I think. But I'm up for surprises.
Anything can happen.
There is a rumor floating around that we'll get a Splinter Cell Apocalypse trailer. And that is what I'm hoping is true, man. And if that is true, I will be a happy camper. I know Dirty Bombs will be very happy.
What if they have zombies in it, Mule?
No.
I doubt it.
No.
I doubt they'll have zombies in that.
No.
Yeah.
No. And let me tell you a little song I know. It's called No.
How about Hail to the No.
Hail to the No. To the No. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm going to shut that down right now. If they put zombies in a Splinter Cell game, I will drive to whatever freaking studio is the main one for that and boycott them. I will start a picket line.
Yeah.
No one crosses.
You need to start a hashtag, no more zombies.
Not my Splinter Cell.
There you go.
I kind of thought about doing that if it don't have Michael Ironside with Sam Fisher.
Yeah.
If it does have Sam Fisher, because...
Yeah. I mean...
He's Sam Fisher. I don't care who it is.
He's the man. Say. Yeah.
I forget who it was in Blacklist, but it was just like, what the hell is this? You ain't Sam Fisher?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let's move on to our next one here from our bro Scoobaroo. And he says, what are your favorite parts of the con? And what were the most frustrating parts as well? Hashtag Ask Analog.
Frustrating?
Not having enough money to buy everything you want?
That, because I did struggle with some things I wanted to buy quite often.
Yeah.
Favorite parts? We talked about them already. And can't think of much beyond that. I mean, hanging out with Sully and 3-Man was pretty awesome as well.
Yeah.
But favorite. It's a toss-up between Ray Park and sitting next to Ming Chen.
Yeah, man. I completely agree. It's got to be, I mean, probably more Ray for me because how much I'm a Star Wars geek.
Yeah,
Because it's just, oh, dude.
a little bit.
Once in a lifetime opportunity right there. But most frustrating, I would say, is sometimes, and part of this, some of the guys there we know on staff were saying that we have some new help with communicating. Some of the communication was not always there. Like I was like, so when am I supposed to meet you guys for the panel?
Yeah, there was that going on too.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a panic mode with that, but it is a huge event too, so I kind of understand why. But
Huge.
it's huge, man, huge. Yeah, huge. All right, so we're gonna go with our last one here, our last Ask Analog, and we're gonna open it up to you guys in the chat. If you have any questions or comments you want to share, you can do so now as well. So our last one here is from Captain Deadpool _83. And he says, was it Star-Lord's fault? Hashtag Ask Analog.
Yes.
Yes. No.
And, well, I can't blame him. Yes, because, well, I mean, had he not done that, it would have all gone a lot better. No, I think Strange saw that that had to happen for the inevitable future he saw where they win to happen, which has not been revealed yet.
Yeah.
Can't blame him because he had to watch his mom die. His father basically killed his mom and was a galactic douchebag.
Yeah.
And his love died. So he pretty much lost all hesitation.
He was imbalanced.
Very imbalanced.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
what about you, Dirty?
no.
Was it Star-Lord's
Still
fault?
haven't
What?
I haven't seen it.
What?
Dude, I don't have time.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Haven't had time. Don't have money for it. Don't have people to see it with.
I go solo.
The only time I'm
I
going
go solo. I don't care.
The only time I ever went to see a movie by myself was Rogue One. Because my dad didn't want to see it. The lady I was with at the time didn't care. So I'm like, well, fuck you guys. I'm going on my birthday.
Yeah. Well, since you haven't seen it, Dirty, I will say that I don't think kind of his fault, I mean, I have a theory like Thaddeus was saying that this is something that he saw because he looked at how many million, different.
14 million.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I think it was kind of something where it had to happen that way and he knew it. And so he didn't try real hard to stop him. Kind of a deal. So
You got to let certain things play out. Let certain characters feel a certain way. To let Thanos feel,
yeah.
Yeah. But before we finish it up, I will say it. Speaking of movies, I
Yes.
finally saw Deadpool 2.
Ooh.
Hilarious. I was actually crying at the end, and especially at the end credits. So good. Ryan Reynolds. Wow. And I saw the Solo movie.
Yes, dude.
Very, very good. Better than I expected.
The ending is so good, right?
The ending is amazing. He encompasses a young Han Solo very well.
Yeah.
It was predictable at times, but I kind of expected that.
You kind of know his story a little bit,
Yeah.
so yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I am potentially seeing it tomorrow.
You need to.
Rewind.
Yeah,
Didn't
I
you say
know.
you would never see this?
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
But the Star Wars side of me is coming out. Plus, I have someone to see it with, and she has a coupon. Ha ha
Well, I
ha.
will say,
So,
knowing you and how you side with Star Wars, you're gonna love the end.
Yeah.
I mean, if it has anything to do with the Empire, I already know he went to be a pilot there.
No. Well, you'll see at the end. The end.
Does the Empire win? Because they always win, even when they lose.
You'll see.
You'll see at the end.
You'll see.
Minor setbacks.
Let's just say I was pretty hyped about it,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially after the weekend we had. So
Yeah.
Let's see.
I was hitting the shoulder push
Really?
next to me. He's like, "Oh, sorry, you don't even know." But yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So
If you're good with
I'm,
math, you
I'm
might
gonna
figure it out,
put
but
2
don't
and
say
2 together.
no spoilers. Shh.
What?
Just-
Really?
Just wait. Just
That seems like a jump.
we can
though.
DM later.
just
though.
we'll talk about
It
we'll talk
seems
about
like-
it in Discord. We'll
It
talk
seems
about
like
it.
a jump.
Dude, just wait. It fits perfectly.
Okay.
There's so many
Thoughts that make you want to jump.
there's so many
You say
things in that
so.
movie that came together so well. Like
Is he in it though? Is he actually,
I'm not
in
gonna
it?
say
or is it
Come here.
CG? It shouldn't be
Come
CG.
just wait. Just wait.
Okay.
Dirty. Meet the dirty.
Just wait. It'll be good,
Well, now I
man.
need to text my girlfriend and be like, "Yo, baby, you coming over tomorrow? Because now I really want to see this movie.
We're going.
We're going.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pay for it because I don't have money right now." But
Yeah. Well, awesome, guys. Well, hey, everyone that is in the Mixer Discord or the Mixer chat, we appreciate you guys hanging out, watching the show with us, and all you guys listening. We really appreciate y'all. And if you like our podcast, don't forget to check out the Cool Cats at NinjaPancake.com. And if you would like us on Facebook, leave us a review on iTunes. You can follow us all on Twitter. You got at Circuit 8 when he's here. At Dirty Bombs, at Thaddeus Prime, and all of us at Mulehorn Gaming. And remember, guys, when in doubt, blow it off!
Use it all over on.
Boom.